Well, you all know that we are spiritual beings living in a material world, right? In a body. And we all know that one day we are all going to leave this earth. We're going to leave this earth, and hopefully we leave with a feeling that we've accomplished our mission here. Now, when we get spiritual, sometimes we get too serious with it. I have to meditate. I'm not a good person. I'm always screaming. I mean, look at that face. How can that be spiritual? All the greatest spiritual masters I have known are always telling jokes, always happy, always joyful. Yes, you have to work on the treadmill to achieve that joy, to achieve that peace. Anything in life. Anything in life. If you want to be good at it, you have to work at it. You took a counseling course, 4 years. You take Ayurveda, rest of your life. Your massage course never stops. You keep getting better and better and better. And everything in life is like that. So when you start to learn about who you really are, the precious you, the love that is you, the joy that is you, the spirit that is you, it will take time. And you'll go through many crescendos. Many belief systems will be knocked out of you. Many I don't or I can't. Many judgments. So when you go through this process, you go through lots of obstacles. But there is one truth you will know. Because as my master said, when you feel the peace inside, when you have that space of strength and quiet, then you know God. And then he said, make peace your God. And I love that, because what is God? Nobody knows, nobody can define. Quantum scientists are talking about consciousness. The Bhagavad Gita talks about the divine when Arjuna is looking at Krishna and he says, but I want to know God. And he says, okay, but you can't see God with those eyes, but I will give you a special vision. Because you really ask with that sincerity. I don't know if you can handle it. So God shows itself with all the beautiful happenings, and then suddenly God shows itself with all the wars and the arguments and the demons and the angels and the demons, and Arjuna couldn't deal with it. He couldn't deal with it. He goes, stop, I don't want to know. I can't deal with this. It's too much. It's too much for my human mind to accept. So this is why it takes so long for us to accept, because we've been so conditioned, good, bad, right, wrong. And yoga is that science that tells you that everything is the way it is. And our lives become what we perceive, what we think. So we think, I'm miserable, life has come to punish me, so many bad things have happened to me, then you will be miserable. Definitely, because you're predicting this is your misery, that life is sad. Suffering comes to all of us. Nobody can escape it. But if you understand why, there are lessons that you have to learn from it. You go, okay, this is really hurting, the pain is bad. If I resist it and fight it, the stress gets worse, the pain gets bigger. It's like a cut. If you cut yourself, or you get a mosquito bite, and you keep scratching, what happened? It'll bleed. It'll keep bleeding. But if you leave it alone, you apply some balm, and you want to scream, and you want to shout, but you don't, you just say no, you practice a bit of control, what happens? It will heal quickly, very quickly. And this is the knowledge of the yoga science, to heal ourselves very quickly, so we can spend more time in life laughing. Because the earth is here for us to enjoy, but of course when we see all the wars and all the marriage breakups and all the suffering around us, we kind of get weak, we fall apart, the markets are collapsing, people are collapsing, cancer everywhere, we become weak and we forget this truth. This truth is that we are always really never going to die. Suffering is always temporary. Always temporary. So is joy. Always temporary. They're just phases in your life. But if you can come to understand that, then you're not fearful of either. You learn to be strong. And then what happens? You make use of every minute you are alive. It becomes a different world of magic. It becomes fun. Oh, my car, look at how many people recently, the car's broken down. 5 years ago, they would cry, get angry, get frustrated, have a bad day. Now, start laughing. You know, I started laughing when my car broke down. And just then somebody came and helped me. Because attraction, love is the attraction. Joy is the attraction. As you think, you become. You become. Remember that. It is your thoughts. It is you. It is how you portray yourself. And it's hard to remember this all the time, but this is the spiritual path. And one of the medicines, the best medicine, is laughter. When somebody insults you, when somebody hurts you, it's very painful. It's very painful. Of course it's very painful. But why allow the person to hurt you more? By staying in the pain. Make everything, work hard to get out of the pain. So if you're hurt, don't keep scratching it. Go to somebody who will make you laugh. Or, I'm in terrible suffering, help me. You know, when my husband passed away, the only program I really watched was the news, because I love to pray for the world. So I watched the news and Friends. Because it's so dumb, it makes you laugh. Do you like Friends? I love Phoebe. I just love. Was a silly cat? Was a silly cat? I just love her to bits. She's so young. It's so wonderful, you know. And I thought, this is really the medicine, you know. So I used to cry missing my husband next to me, because we always watched TV together. That was his thing to do. You know, we'd cuddle in the evening and just watch TV together. And, you know, and I was complain. I was watching TV, I would like to do something else. No, that's what I'm missing, you know. Life, it's funny. You just don't appreciate things until you've lost them. But I did appreciate him. I really did love watching movies with him. I always told him he was my entertainment time. Because sometimes you need entertainment. You need to have some fun in life. You're so serious all the time. How are you going to know this spirit that's called God? How are you going to have fun? We are born here to, you know, have everything. Didn't God say, this is the Garden of Eden? Enjoy, but do not eat of the fruit. What is the fruit? Greed, avarice, I gotta have self-pity, anger, frustration. Yeah, everybody's allowed a little bit self-pity. Don't worry, you're normal. You're human, but don't drown yourself. And when you feel yourself drowning, look for the medicine. For me, the medicine is love and laughter. It's medicine. And sometimes you don't want to laugh because you're in so much pain. It's too hard to laugh. Then look for the compassion. But as much as you can, try and bring the joy back. Try and bring the joy back. Because what's the point? What's done is done. You can never change the past. You can't. What you can do, and the magic of laughter, is you can change this moment. So you can laugh and change the moment. Let me tell you a lovely little story that I loved. I read it the other day. I just loved it. It was so simple. There was this samurai fighter, and he was very famous in Japan, and he wanted to learn about heaven and hell. So he goes to this monk, and he says to the monk, I want to learn about heaven and hell, and I want you to teach me. You know, I had a big ego. So the monk goes, teach you? Why should I teach you? You're rude, you're arrogant, you're proud. I have nothing to teach you about heaven and hell. And the samurai got so angry. This was his ego. And a monk speaking to him like that? Monks were supposed to be gentle and kind. So he takes his sword and he's just about to hit the monk. And the monk goes, that's hell. And the samurai puts down the sword. And he goes, I'm so sorry. Forgive me. And he goes, that's heaven. And isn't that just the truth? When you watch people with that arrogance and that anger, and I deserve this, and I want this, and I deserve, and there is a kind of hell in that. Look at their faces, there's a hell in that. And when you see people who are humble, and want to learn, and want to grow, and to serve, there is a heaven in that, And it's really very simple. When my father was dying, my father was an extremely spiritual man, deep faith in God. His first thing he used to do every morning was sit on the bed and thank gratitude. First thing, even when he had cancer, when he couldn't even move, the first open eyes every time was thank you God, right? So one of the talks I was with my father when he was dying, he was saying, darling, I want you to know something. Something has become extremely clear. Heaven and hell are right here. They're right here. He said, my body is going through hell. But thank God, my spirit is in heaven. And that taught me a lot. Because it made me see how important it was to keep the spirit in that joy. Because even though the body was falling apart, the spirit was still full of light. His eyes were full of light. What a nice way to be when you're dying. When you're going through excruciating pain. To disconnect with the pain that belongs to the body, so that is hell, and this belongs to a higher consciousness, and this is in heaven. But what is seated in the body is this soul, this energy. And that could still transmit love, even at the worst moments, leaving that energy for me to explain to you on this particular day. You see, so that energy never dies. And that is heaven. That stays forever. And maybe one day you will say that to your children. Who knows? When you're in your deathbed and say those words and give your children that knowledge to keep going through the generations, that joy, that laughter, that hope, even in the last moments of your life. So another story I'd like to tell you is by a great saint who still lives. He must be 92. He's wonderful. His name is Sadhu Baswani. And one of his students came to him, and she was diagnosed with cancer and 6 months to live. Her nature was one of extreme, she was always serious. Life was always giving her problems. One of those always complains, problems. And he knew that. So when she came and said, Dada, I got 6 months to live. She came from America to India to see him. Dada, what should I do? I have only 6 months to live. The doctor says there's nothing they can do. So Dada tells her, you know what you need to do? You need to laugh. The last 6 months of your life, you need to laugh. Make up for all those years you didn't laugh. Enjoy the last 6 months. And it really, obviously, it hit her there. So she found a laughter therapy place. There are many in India, but she found this one in Switzerland, apparently. And she went there for 4 months or 5 months, laughing every day, watching funny comedies, having fun, full of love and laughter. Anyway, 5 months later, she went back to the States to get her diagnosis. No cancer. No cancer. Because her problem, in her case, was so to do with her mind. I'm not saying every case of cancer is to do with the mind or the emotions. Sometimes it's just plain old karma, it's just the way it is. We all have to die one way or the other. But in her case, it was so obvious that the cancer came from her state of mind, which was always unhappy. And just changing that chip changed all the energy in her cells. So it's good to create, a good exercise for everybody to do is look at yourself in the mirror. Do you do that? Do you ever look at yourself in the mirror?
Yes.
But look at yourself and not your makeup or your face. I do sometimes like that. Not that kind of looking. But looking in the mirror and just looking, who am I? It's a practice I did very early in my days when I started even before I started teaching, when I first started meditating. Who am I? Who am I? I go to the mirror, Nalanie, who are you? And I look in the mirror and then I guess I was getting scared because I thought, oh my God, who's that person there? You just start to recognize. It's really an odd feeling in the beginning. And then later on, as I got the practice and got used to it, and sometimes get up in a funny mood. Some days you get up in a funny mood, and then the whole day you blame everybody else. And this is the time before I learned all these magical tools from yoga. And then the whole day starts wrong, because just because you got up wrongly, everybody else is to blame. That's how I used to think in those days. Kooky, that was hell. That was really hell. I don't know how I lived in that body in that time, it was quite something else. You just survive it, you wonder how you lived that way. It's so unmeaningful. But anyway, so later on as I got good with the meditation, I developed a habit also to always look in the mirror in the morning and smile. Good morning, Nalanie. Good morning. And I did that with my husband as well. Because I always used to say to him, I think many of you have heard this story, but maybe some of the new ones didn't. When he got up in the morning, he was always very serious. And I used to say to him every morning, you get up so grumpy, so serious. Look at my face. Did you see my face?
Yeah.
That's the face I used to give him every morning. And I was calling him the serious one. Interesting, huh? They say we reflect each other, don't they?
Yeah.
We look at each other and reflect each other. That's what I was telling. But look at my own face. I couldn't see it. And then when I saw my face in the mirror going to the bathroom, I'm trying to be happy and like Nalanie, but look what Nalanie's just done. A horrible thing.
Mm-hmm.
All I've done is put into my husband's head that he's not nice. And look at me. Here I'm thinking I'm trying to be better. So what I decided to do is the next day is to use an affirmation. So I went in next morning, really an experiment. I was really excited. I got up in the morning, God, give him a big kiss, and I go, good morning, Mr. Cheerfulness. And he just laughed. He just said, what's with you this morning? I just love you to bits and good morning. I love that smile on your face. And of course, the more I would say I love your smile, try it with people. I tried with my children all the time when they were serious. I see that smile curling up. I see that smile curling up. You're trying to be angry, but it's curling and it's curling. And after a while, oh, Mom, I want to be serious. Not now. Come deal with serious. Have some fun. And it works. Try it. Huh? It really works. So anyway, he started, and when he was one of the first people in Gibraltar to get on internet via Madrid. He was really smart. He was really smart man. And he called his first email address was Mr. Cheerfulness. Mr. Cheerfulness. So it really obviously, when I switched, he switched. And from that day there was a real change. Every morning he brought me, because I'd sit down and meditate from that time, because I was learning. I was practicing on my soul. We spend so much time with our bodies. I was teaching dance, I was doing this, but I had no time with my soul. So I'd get up every morning and meditate. And he knew I loved hot water. And from that time, after I said that, he wanted to do something for me. So every morning he'd bring me hot water to my bed. I thought it was just such a sweet thing to do. 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning, he'd follow my clock, put it in my side and then go and do his computer or whatever, or go back to sleep. These are precious, precious things. And what I learned very quickly, was when you do give love from your heart, when you really want to repair yourself in laughter, not in anger, not in guilt, oh, I'm such a bad person. No. You laugh about your negative qualities. You make fun of yourself. Oh, Vicky was talking to me today, and I said, Vicky, do you mind if I quote you? And she said, no, because she was saying, oh, Nalanie, my head thinks so much. What can I do? And she said, I find myself funny sometimes. And I said, the laughing, I said, you got it. You're watching yourself. The fact, she said, I'm not doing very well with myself, am I? So you're doing tremendously well. The fact that you can watch watch your mind going crazy and laugh about it. Like, well, what can I do? This is it. Just gotta accept it. I said, you're doing wonderfully. I said, last year you'd be there grumpy, angry, frustrated. My mind, I can't change my mindset. But this time was, this is who I am. But I'm really trying to be better every day. So laugh, laugh, laugh. And with that kind of attitude, naturally your life becomes better. Because like attracts like. Again, the law of attraction, which so many people are writing about and talking about, and but with spirituality, with our souls, sometimes we get so bogged down. Some people tell me, oh, I can't see God unless I sit down for 2 hours every day and my head's going crazy because I'm thinking all depressed thoughts. And I said, that's not how you're going to find God with all those depressed thoughts. Better to sit 1 minute in joy. Better to sit 1 minute in joy than so many hours in misery. What have you learned after those 2 hours? Anger, frustration. You've missed the point. You've missed the point. I said, you tell me one saint, one person that we all admire that is miserable. Have you admired anybody miserable in your life? No. Isn't it so simple, the truth? So spirituality has to be about joy. Spirituality has to be about laughter, lightness. That's why they say when you know the truth, you become light in every way. Light. Your body becomes, that's why, I notice Marianne's shift in consciousness. Why? Not merely because physically, but there is light. And yesterday after the summer there was Sari as well. Mm-hmm. And she walked into the room and there was this light. And I said to her after the class, I said, Sari, you are light. What's happened? She said, oh, Nalanie, so many miracles. I said, the universe is talking to me, so many miracles. I'm even getting so many more clients. I said, I love this yoga. Just by changing my mind, all these clients are coming to me. I just said to the university the other day, I'm ready now to serve. I'm ready to serve, but more than just have a business relationship. She was ready now to have a relationship that was business, but with everything. With her heart in it. I'm ready to serve. So the very next day, there's 3 new clients walk into. It's amazing, and every day I'm seeing miracles. And that's because you're light, so people will be attracted to you. It's energy fields. We're made up of atoms, and of course where there are lots of spaces in the atoms and lots of light will come that way. It's like when you're in a dark room, you can't see anything, right? You can't see anything. You want light, so you will go towards light. Some people like to stay in a dark room because they don't want to fix themselves. But it's easy to fix yourself when you don't think it's so hard. It's hard to fix yourself when you think it's so severe, when you're so hard on yourself, and you're so cruel to yourself, as if this God punishes. We walked down Main Street today, didn't we? Somebody was shouting, yes, you should fear God, you should fear hell, right? Family goes, oh my God, he's ill, is he?
Yeah.
He's not ill. I don't want a God like that, sorry, I don't know about you, but I don't believe that. I can't believe that. The way I love my family and my children, that's the truth. When you love, you know how you feel. When you laugh, you know how you feel, you're in touch with something much, much deeper, especially when the laughter comes out of purity. Just simple, good humor. Oh, let me tell you a little story as well, because that would be funny. I remember, and then Mataji has got some jokes which I think, I haven't read, but I brought along with me. Oh, Shanti, I left it in my yoga bag. I think it's pieces of paper, recycled typed paper. Yeah, thank you. I remember when Gurudev first came on his first trip, Master, and he was staying with us at home. And my husband was a very jolly man. He could tell lots of good jokes, right? And one day he said, oh, Swamiji, I'm going to tell you a joke. And when he was starting to tell the joke, I was getting really scared because it had sexual connotations. Yes.
As one does,
You know, there's a first trip like this. Oh, I'm going to kick my husband. I'm going to really tell him off, you know. And I was like so serious, so angry. And then he tells this whole joke, and I'm like perspiring all the way down. And suddenly I hear Swamiji, ha 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 ha, laughing and laughing and laughing. But Shanky, you tell good jokes. And again, there was this shift of consciousness. Of course, a holy person will see God everywhere. He saw where my husband came from. He was so pure that he saw that my husband just wanted to make him laugh. Didn't matter the joke. The feeling that came from my husband is, I know this joke and it's really fun.
Tell us.
To laugh. Yeah. And in a way, thank you so much. In a way, Gurudev, you know, loved it because everybody treated him with so much awe sometimes. Later on in my spiritual growth, I realized that when we saw the master, we like, and the master will reflect what you feel. We're kind of scared and whatnot. But if you went to the master, like Lakshmi did in a bikini because Mangala told There's another joke, it's quite funny, you know, that's a good story, it makes you laugh. You know, we were in Bali on a retreat with Swami Satchidananda. And Ravan, your father and your sister were there. And I've been thinking about your father. I meant to see him today. I'm sorry I didn't. I'll probably come next Wednesday if it's okay. Yeah,
he went on to see us today. There was my mom and the for a checkup. Anyway.
Is he? We'll pray for his dad. It's not in a good way. And before I go to Mangala, talking about both of you in Bali, how's your parents doing?
At the moment, not rocking the boat too much.
You've had it tough.
They've not got better, but at the moment it's not been too drastic. It's all right.
Okay, good. You're a good daughter. Really a good daughter. God will bless you for all the hard work.
I've got a good teacher.
I cannot take credit for your goodness, but thank you. You really are a wonderful daughter. Amazing. God bless you. Good tapas, good tapas. Hard, to look after sick people. Hard when you have it for a long time. Very draining, very draining. And this woman is amazing with it. I'm just really very impressed. So, what's
bikini.
The bikini in Bali, so to make you laugh. We were in Bali, all of us, for this retreat with our beloved master, and I was teaching with him. So he was about to come, and of course I went to greet him. They were in the swimming pool. The retreat was in a lovely hotel. So these were in a swimming pool with their bikinis on, right? They didn't know Gurudev was coming. And then Mangala, what did you tell her? Tell the story. You tell the story so nicely. Please come here and make them laugh. Come here and make them laugh. The story must come from the person's mouth. It's funny.
My version's funnier. Lillian's version is a bit more austere. She blames me.
I'm grateful to you, Gita. I really am, because I would never have done it had it not been for you too.
As you said, Gurudev was arriving, but we didn't know at what time he was arriving. We had the original meeting for the evening with dinner with Gurudev. So in the afternoon we were all by the pool, and there was Pat Grant, Gita, Lakshmi and myself. Lakshmi decided to go to the room to get something, a camera or something, to take some pictures because we were having fun by the pool. So in that time, we see from the front of the hotel, where the seafront is, a beach umbrella, very ornate, and people in orange robes. So it caught her eye the way they were walking. And then Gita says, because Gita had been to the ashram, no, she hadn't been to the ashram, but we hadn't seen Gurudev yet. And she says, what's going on there? And I say, I think that's Gurudev. At which time, through the back comes Lillian saying, okay girls, pose as a camera. I said, no, Lillian, look, it's Gurudev. He's walking this way. We've already been to see him. We've hugged. What, like that? Sure. We couldn't wait to see him. So she drops the camera and it goes jumping up and down, boom, boom. How are you? Before we had a chance to stop her, she goes, so nice to see you. All the way, Gurudev is covered in body oil from her sun protection. The Swamis, Gurudev loving it, as you said, laughing when the two Swamis that were really quite serious, quite austere, Sharadananda and Dayananda. Quite taken aback, quite shocked. I think they were even shaking. Anyway, she comes believe you did that. So, we just grabbed him. Well, you said you had. I said, you be silly. Of course we did in our bikini. How would we go and go spiritual class? You're my friend, she goes.
But the thing is that Gurudev, being Gurudev, as we all know, when the Swami tried to stop me from getting close, he put his arm out to them and he says, "Come here, my child." And he gave me the biggest hug ever. So this
It was lovely. It was really, really lovely to see. But it was really funny.
And Mom's up so
It was hilarious. It was hilarious. And you were saying about when you used to wake up grumpy.
Yes.
And then blame it on your husband. Once I received a card from a friend of mine from the States, and it had, like sort of sketch of a man in bed, sort of very grumpy looking, and the wife up and really austere looking, and it says, "Sometimes I wake up grumpy, other times I let him sleep."
Good one, Margaret, good one. Good one. So laughter is medicine, isn't it? It lightens. There are times when we need to be serious. There are times in the spiritual path you really need to just get serious because some issues are serious and you really need to deal with them seriously. Master Chinmayananda said, it's very good to be childlike, but not good to be childish. So it's important also to learn. Some people just laugh for the sake of laughing all the time. It's a bit childish. You also need to know when is the right time for laughter and when is the right time to just keep quiet and not laugh. You see, yoga is all about a balance. All about balance. Somebody says somebody is dying, you don't laugh. You don't. But have you noticed that naturally as a child, it's the same brain spot? Haven't you remembered when you were a child and you get bad news and you really want to cry, but instead you laugh?
Yes.
And you're embarrassed, you know why you want to laugh? Same spot in the brain. Isn't it interesting how we're designed?
Sure.
Isn't it interesting? And I remember people used to give me bad news. Why am I wanting to laugh? Because eeks, this is not good, Nalanie. It's embarrassing. Didn't you feel that as a child?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, still happens.
I think it's a mechanism that kicks in to protect you until you have time to assimilate.
Yes,
what's happening.
same machine in the brain, you see? Because actually, it's...
I think also you watch everybody around you, and it's not you who's laughing, it's the viewer, the observer who's seeing all this, and it's all the same at the end of the day. So you have a glimpse of this, and you watch everybody and you think it's not real.
Yeah, that's the truth. You get to a point, sometimes in a very serious situation, where it's so serious that it seems just unreal. Yeah? Totally unreal. It's just not real. And then it's like you're suddenly transported from your body to somewhere else. And you look at yourself and you go, it's normal. And then suddenly you go back into your body and then you get serious and then you start crying and then you've forgotten that split second where something in your soul or your brain got the truth. We all get glimpses of the truth in our lives, the absolute truth, where this is all just a play, we're here for a little while. And like that lovely story about the American Indian child who asks his grandfather, grandfather, what do we have in the brain? And the grandfather says, there are two wolves. And they're at war with each other. One wolf is arrogant, selfish, mean, horrible, and the other one is gentle, kind, compassionate. And they're always at war with each other. And the child asks the grandfather, and which wolf wins the war? And the grandfather answers, the one you feed most. The one you feed most. And then we blame God. Poor God, what did God do? Created us so that we can have a life? And some people go, I don't like this life. I said, okay, do you know what it's like to be nothing? Would you like to be dead? Yes, I'd like to be dead. Really? And then they go through some experiences in their lives that have been good, which they've forgotten when they're miserable. They go, yeah, maybe not, maybe not. maybe not. Maybe there are many things. We're here anyway. Whether you like it or not, we all have an assigned time on earth. How we paint our canvas is really up to us. The size of our canvas is given to us in the body that we have. You know, we're given a particular body. What you do with the canvas, you can make a small canvas, as many people have done, small canvas filled with the most incredible painting and sell for millions. And some people have huge canvases, and it's horrible. So it's how you paint. The canvas is white. It's how you paint your life. And that's why yoga says there's a way to get out of suffering. Once you understand that this power, this creativity has been given to us, and that's the God in us, the self, the huge self, the soul in us has been given to us. Once we can recognize that, and we can decide amidst suffering, amidst pain, that we can put pretty colors. It doesn't have to be black and grays. You can input, like I said, my blackest time in my life was after my husband's death. And literally, when I started to meditate, I must tell you one thing, I only saw black. It was unusual because I'd never done that in my life. And I thought, oh my God, I'm blocking. My sorrow is blocking the divine from my life. My sorrow. Nobody has caused me the sorrow. This is normal. Everybody has to go through it. And I remember thinking, how do people who don't have this spiritual background deal with a loss of a loved one? I mean, if you don't like your partner, it may be different. But I was madly in love with mine. Although angry with him many times, but madly in love with him. So, but it was a dark black place. And I was very grateful for this knowledge, because in the blackness I knew the only way out was service, not to think about that, to allow the black, that in time the fog will rise. It will rise. And I was very lucky because it took me only really 5 months when I did the teacher training in Portugal for 17 days. It was intensive teacher training. And because I was so into teaching the sutras for 17 days, breathing it, talking it, fabulous students, so excited to learn. I told them at the end of the thing, you know what, I think you guys healed me. You guys have healed me. Because then you're so focused and the light came back. And drips and drabs, the light started coming back. Meditation started to become very beautiful. So it showed me one thing, that even though the thoughts may be black, you can function. There is a function, there's a strength, there's an energy that is so powerful that even though your mind is dark place, if you focus on that, it comes and gives you light. It's quite amazing. It sees you through the few months. It sees you through your darkest periods and go, wow, I think I like this God. I think I'm absolutely in love with this God. You know? And then you come through another phase. You know, this is why when you suffer, don't worry too much. You will come to a brighter phase. This is just a black period, but you will definitely come to a phase of light. All you have to do is know it and wait and be patient. And if you work with that, I know I'm going to be looked after. This is just a dark phase, and laugh as much as you can throughout that period, and also cry if you need to, because you have to admit that you're miserable. It's also okay. Just don't spend too many hours feeling sorry for yourself. No avail. It just makes you feel icky. You don't need to do that to yourself. 5 minutes, 10 minutes is enough. I feel so bad. I don't want to do it. Just go back to reality. Everybody loses something. Everybody loses something they love. Do you know anybody who doesn't lose something they love? I don't know anybody. Everybody goes through suffering. You're not special in this, you know. Just don't make a big deal. No big deal. Yeah, it's no big deal. It happens. She laughs. You understand now what I mean by no big deal now, don't you? Have you realized it's really no big deal? It's quite funny, actually. We make so much fuss of ourselves, and we're all going to die one day. And that's really quite funny. I mean, today Shanti was talking to me about death, and Beth said, Shanti, the way you speak about death, it's very common. We talk about it all the time. As a death was just around the corner. Oh my God, mother dies. You know, because we get comfortable, don't we? After a while, saying that word, that is right. Auntie Rajni here, I remember when she first came to yoga. Do you remember some of you?
Yes.
She came, I'm scared of death. Don't talk to me, don't use the words death. I can't bear it. You'll be fine. I'm never going to get over this. I can't. And so many years later, when her husband asked, she shocked all of us, huh? The one that I thought would fall apart and wow, a pillar of strength. So again, she had this fear, this horrible fear, but she overcame it. And this is the wonderful thing about yoga and you know, life, that yoga is just a way out of suffering. Doesn't mean you don't suffer, but you get yourself out. You pick yourself up. And who's a better doctor than you? And in the end, you become your best friend and your worst enemy. So might as well decide to be your best friend by being a nice person and smiling and laughing. Because in the end, we all come to a point where we are much alone. Even if you have a partner. Even my husband had me all the time with him when he was sick. I didn't leave his side. I think maybe in 6 weeks, maybe 4 hours maximum, run to the shower. 2 minutes, I couldn't be longer because I couldn't stay away. So I said, I only have so little time, right? Or on that day I went for coffee with you guys. Oh my God, he was so angry with me. I'll never forget. So anyway, when you're away no, when you're in that time, you have to watch everything as if you're watching a movie. You have to bring the highest joys up at that time. You need to learn to do that. And the only way you can learn to do that is by practicing. Practicing. You only get good after you practice for a long time, without a break, and all your heart. So the first step, we learn the rules of yoga, which is non-violence, truthfulness, applying these things in our life. Then we get a little serious, and we get a little bit judgmental. This person is causing violence, this person, why are you forgiving this one? You go into that kind of stage, then you go to the next stage where, you know what, nobody's really wanting to do bad. There's a new awareness, it's like a shift in consciousness. It's just the way it is, and you watch their lives and you see why they are the way they are. And then, for those who are really appear quite evil, there are some that are quite evil, then you realize, you learn from the scriptures to be wise and stay away. You learn to say no. And you learn to be attracted and stay with anything that is elevating. It's a lesson. And you don't feel guilty about that, even though they're your family. They disturb your peace, you don't feel guilty. I need my peace as my God. I love you, I respect you, I'll visit you. But 1 hour is enough and goodbye. Because if I stay more than 1 hour, I'll end up angry, I'll end up full of resentment. And what's the point? What does that energy do? So you keep in respect and you walk away before argument can start, before you can create another situation. You avoid those situations. You learn to be clever in life. And then you learn that with people who are agitated with you or bring the worst out in you, when you come approach them, always talk of light things, nothing serious. You can't be serious with them. The moment you are, they'll attack your weak point and manipulate it. You learn this. So what do you do with people that are harsh on you? You start to become very light. They can't deal with your energy, they'll walk away. They get bored because they can't manipulate you anymore. So these are the secrets that laughter and joy bring into your life. But in order to know those secrets, you have to build up the joy. You have to work, do things that make you happy. Meditation should be full of love. It should be full of love. That's how I started, blessing everybody. Remember I used to say, I used to walk down Main Street because I wanted to change this chip. The chip, what I learned was, when I started meditation, was all about me. Oh my God, what a huge ego. So I wanted to change it, but in order to change it, you have to learn to direct it somewhere else. So I was walking down Main Street, and I started to say, I need to pick up the best in everything. So I blessed everybody. God bless this person. Oh, it's beautiful eyes. So lovely hair. What a good-looking man. Bless them all. Bless them all. Bless them all. And by the time I walked from my house, and in Marina Bay at that time, Marina Court, to my shop, middle of Main Street, I was in such a good place. Because there was no, I have to do this, I have to do the groceries, and there was none of that. It was just, got to work in peace. And then when you're in peace, you spread the peace. And then you want to be joyful. Because after you got peace, the next thing is have fun. And at the right time. Because also then if you get too addicted to having fun when sorrow comes, whoa, you're in trouble again, back to square one. So it's always about a balance. Joy, suffering, pleasure, pain, all part of this earth. Don't get attached to any of it. When you have it, don't say, oh. When you're joyful, also don't say, oh, Nalanie. Somebody came to me one time and she was saying, made an appointment, really need to see you. Fine. She comes to my office and tells me, oh my God, I'm really worried. What are you worried about? My life is going so well. I am so worried every morning that something is going to I said, are you crazy? Your life is going so well. She said, I know I'm so happy, but I'm so worried. So I said, how can you be happy if you aren't worrying? That's precisely why I came to see you. So, we laughed about that. I told her, lighten up, lighten up. I said, you don't have to worry about sorrow. When the time comes, it'll come by itself. But don't bring it on with this worry. But she didn't do that. She kept on worrying. And she did bring her sorrow to her very quickly after that. Very quickly. In fact, when she did, she called me. She said, I can't blame God. I did this. You told me to stop it. You told me to do this, but I wouldn't. I was wallowing in it. And all the happiness became misery. And now when I really got the misery, I'm happy for that time. Why did I worry? Do you see? People do that to themselves. We do it to ourselves. Almost sometimes we're a little bit sadistic, I think, don't you think? We blame other people, but I think we hurt ourselves the most. Cause our most pain. But she learned a big lesson after that. It was a worthwhile lesson because that woman was anyway prone to worry. But after such an experience, with such a clear message, because she really wanted, she was a good human being, a very good human being. And that's why she got the rewards from the gods, because when you attract goodness when you are good, you attract joy when you're joyful, you attract abundance when you feel abundant, when you're not scared to give, when you share, when you love, when you laugh. All those things will come back to you. Because it's a law of karma, whether you like it or not. Whether you like it or not. We talk about the law of karma all the time, always referring to the negative. Right? As you sow, you reap. Why? Also refers to the positive. The law doesn't, it doesn't judge. It just is. It's a universal law. So the more joy you are putting out there, the better it is. I remember whenever something bad used to happen to us, an accident or something, like when I fractured my foot, my father would say, one bad karma gone. Good. Great. Wonderful. One bad karma gone. Fantastic. One thing out of the way. Come on, next one. If you want to, and if you don't, I decide to be happy. When it comes, another one gone. Don't give it energy, because every thought has a reality. Every thought. So make sure the thoughts are clean and make sure the work up here. If you're confused and you don't know what to think, just go around blessing everybody, including yourself. Then a message will come. Because you're really kind of keeping that pure. You're keeping it pure. Because many times in your life you want to help or you want to do good and be good, but you don't know what to do. And sometimes if you try to be good, you're meddling in somebody's life. You don't want to meddle as well. You should never interfere unless they ask for help. So you don't want to do that too. So at those times, just say, bless everyone, bless me that I may be the best I am. Bless me that I can do the best you want me to do on this earth while I have the time. Bless me with the courage and the strength that you can ask for, the joy and the laughter to be able to spread it to spread it. SIS, which is a charity that we all run from Integral Yoga, and all the yogis all over the world, and all the donations we go towards SIS. We donated €1,000 yesterday to this woman in Spain. Let me tell you what she does, because I'd like to tell you where the money is going. And because it's donated by everyone, it's from all of you. I think you should know. So as much as I remember, I try to tell. And this woman, she's only about 33. She said that, I met her through my daughter because I have a grandchild that's special needs, who we believe is the angel from heaven, come to teach us all great things. So anyway, through my granddaughter and through my daughter, I meet this wonderful lady. And she came yesterday to the satsang for a little while. They didn't stay long, so Shanti could give them the money from us. And she was saying that, when she was young, she used to tell her mother all the time, "Mom, am I Down syndrome? Look at me. Am I Down syndrome? Mom, I must be Down syndrome." And her mom said, "No, there's nothing wrong with you. You're perfectly normal." And as she got older, she started to work. Her vocation was to be in education, etc. And then she met all these special needs children in education, and she could never see them as special. She could always see them like, we call them special, but she said they're normal. To her, they're normal, because she always saw herself as down. So what happened was, she started saying, nobody gives these children a chance. So what did she do? She's training them so that they can get jobs. Not treating them as special needs and they can't do anything with their life, let's put them in a home, give them a happy life and full stop. No, treating them as if they have responsibility to learn and to grow and be part of the community. One of the things she did with them, I think it's just such a clever idea. And we have a photo of it.
Yes,
Do you
yes.
have it?
I'm going to know it's at home.
Okay, so she dressed them all up as clowns. And there was a home, a hospital, like a hospice, people were suffering and not very happy. And she got them to visit this hospital, making all the people in the hospital laugh. They loved them. And she said when they were leaving, both sides, she said both sides, they were all crying because nobody wanted to. The people who were sick wanted them to stay. And the special needs people felt they were just, wow, they could help other people. They could be useful. And that's her work. So now she's building a school in Algeciras because there's nothing there. And that's what we want to give the first donation to get the key. And so that she can start the training from a small age so that they can find some skill in these children so that they can contribute as an ordinary human being. Don't you think that's wonderful work? She's only 33, and her husband has a full-time job. And he helps her all the time. He loves those kids, in his free time. So you can see they never stop. Hard work is a wonderful word in that family. And mother also has a charity. But anyway, I can go on about these wonderful people that I'm meeting in my life. They're just incredible human beings. And, all of them have gone through hardship. The mother also went through 28 months in hospital, kidney dialysis, etc. Laughing. When you touch the spirit, when you touch service, there is some joy that comes to you. There's some feeling of, you feel so magnanimous. What's the word? Magnanimous. Thank you. Sometimes I forget. Thank you. And that's the feeling you feel, and that's the feeling you get from these two wonderful angels, mother and daughter. But the mother does a lot of good work as well. They've got lots of awards from Punta de Lucia and different organizations for the wonderful work they're carrying on. And but what I was bringing up there was dressing the clowns. I thought was so clever, because that would bring the best out of these special needs, that they could help people by being funny. I just thought it was such a brilliant idea, and as a result, everybody benefited. So laughter is the medicine in this life. Yeah, it's the best medicine. So whenever you're feeling down, watch Friends. I guess there must be new comedies now. Oh, Mrs. Bouquet. Have you watched that? Keeping Up Appearances?
Oh yeah.
Oh, she's funny, Mrs. Bucket. Yeah. You know, just have some fun in life. Fools and Horses as well. You know, I mean, those are the ones that my husband taught me, because otherwise I would have never watched them and had this escapism, which is sometimes quite nice, because it's simple, pure, nothing too fancy, nothing too mind-blowing, or just meet up with a few friends that you can laugh with, or learn a few jokes. You know? And talking about jokes, I'll finish off with, let's see, Mataji gave me all this. Mataji, you all know Mataji, you met her, she came here, our wonderful Mataji. She is so funny. She is so funny. The morning after her satsang here, we talk here, she goes, Nalanie, do you like jokes? I said, I love them, but I'm not good at telling them. So she said, I have many, can I read them to you? Sure, Mataji, read them to me. And there I was trying to make her breakfast, and we went from breakfast into lunch because there were so many jokes. I just couldn't get to work. Because she was in the kitchen with me. Oh, Nalanie, here's another one. Well, I was washing dishes for breakfast, and here's another one just before cutting vegetables for lunch, and she's making me laugh. And I remember I just laughed so much. And I said, you know, Mataji, I am so grateful you're staying with me, because I would have seen this funny side of you. I would have never seen this. She's so funny. And she said serious, and I think she's so serious, right? See, people don't know. Never judge a book by its cover. When you live with them and you watch them, and for me, she's a living saint. I
I
just
went
love
to
her
see you and she was joking with Eric.
That's right, you came.
And I'm thinking, where's he going? Like the same thing about your
Shaky,
husband. I'm thinking,
yeah.
where's he going? Like, you know. But they were in stitches. I'm thinking, thank you, God, thank you.
Yeah,
So
I
I was
mean,
able to join them.
they accept all the world for what it is. It's truly about understanding and acceptance. You know, true acceptance of people's way to find God. Whichever way you choose, it doesn't have to be the same as mine. But I accept it. And we need to accept that. And then we'll bring lots of peace and harmony. We get too serious when people think different from us. We make too many judgments on them when they think different from us. Why? They just come from different mindsets. So you can't change anybody. What can you do? Change yourself. Accept it or let it go. If you can't accept it, then let it go. But don't sit there complaining. You can do either thing. It's your choice. If you want to stay, accept. You can't accept, then go. But for God's sake, do something and laugh. Because while you're just waiting, the time is ticking and there's like fireworks everywhere. And all this is negative energy to our earth. All our negative thoughts are bringing all this suffering to our earth. Because we create the energies of the earth. You can see it. Is it God who came down and built the computers and all these refineries? It's man, out of greed, built all these awful refineries, polluted the air. As we think, it becomes. Man could have used the atom, the splitting of the atomic power in the best way possible. Look what's happening in Japan, you know. Everything to save on energy or to make more money. Rather than to be green, we have everything we need. The world has given us all the resources. Everything. Everything. So really, the world is the way it is. I cannot blame anyone. And I think, oh, why is the world the way it is? And I just say, well, put a good thought. Bless the world, may it be full of love and light. Bless the politicians, that they may see light in their thinking. Bless them all day long, that some light, see the world, visualize it in your prayer, visualize it in your dream, that the world is in a better place. Not, oh, 2012, we're all going to die, disaster, tsunamis, disaster. As you think will attract it. If it is, we're going to die anyway. If it's going to happen, it's going to happen. Why bring it along? We could change it. We have the ability. We have the ability to change it.
There's still time.
Yeah, and all the spiritual masters have said that. Throughout the ages, with all the teachings we've got, they say, but this is written, you can change it. Globally, together, one person, hard. Many people, easy. And you really have to think that. Bless the world, praise the world. You know, and if somebody is negative, just bless them, send them light. But don't think about them too often, because if you think about them too often in your brain, then your brain will be disturbed. So you have to be clever to detach. If you think about them, don't attach. The moment we grasp on something, oh, I'm praying for this awful person. I'm praying for this awful person. Have you seen it? It's a double standard right there. I'm praying, full stop. Don't like the person, understood that. I understood that. But I'm praying, let it go, finish, done. Do you see? Make it very clear, very straight. Then it clears the comment. Then you start laughing. Go and find something funny again. Always. So let me see what joke I can tell you about what Mataji has given me. Okay, I remember there was one that I really like. Not this one. I think it was this one, sorry. Oh, and it's the one that hasn't printed too well. Anyway, I should see if I can remember it. Morris, an 82-year-old man, went to the doctor to get a physical. A few days later, the doctor saw Morris walking down the street with a gorgeous young woman on his arm. Is that you? Morris replied. Yes, doctor, I'm just doing what you told me to do. You told me to get a hot mama and be cheerful. And the doctor said, I didn't say that. I said, you've got a heart murmur. Be careful. Strategy. So she's got some, oh, these are all about elderly people, you know. So there was, let's see. Okay, here's another one. A senior citizen said to the 80-year-old buddy, so I hear you're getting married. Yep. Do I know her? No. This woman, is she good looking? Not really. Is she a good cook? No, she can't cook too well. Does she have lots of money? No. Poor as a church mouse. Well then, is she good in bed? I don't know. Then why on earth do you want to marry her? Because she can still drive. I tell you one more and then we'll have meditation to finish. 3 old guys are walking. First one says, windy, isn't it? Second one says, no, it's Thursday. Third one says, so am I. Let's go get a beer. A man was telling his neighbor, I just bought a new hearing aid. It cost me $4,000, but it's a state of the art. It's perfect. Really? Answered the neighbor. What kind is it? $12.30.
Brilliant.
So you can imagine the food that we ate that day was just full of laughter. And Mataji went through this whole thing with me, so it was wonderful. It was just quite something. And this is what we need more in this world, more laughter. I think this world's becoming really serious, don't you? People are getting too serious about everything. We don't laugh enough, we don't play enough, we don't have fun, you know. Be childlike. We've forgotten to be childlike. We don't do fun things. Everything's washing cooling, you know, just have some fun. I think that's what we were born to do. And in prayer and in solitude, you know, solitude is not a bad thing. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. I can tell you that. I really never ever feel alone. People ask, are you scared when you know, now I moved into a house? I haven't been alone yet. I'm not scared. I'm just, you know, I never feel alone. God is with me. I really feel that there's this energy with me that I'm never alone. And if anything has to happen, it has to happen. You know, it's not because anybody's punishing me, it's by my own karma that has to come out. But who says it has to be bad? Maybe wonderful things are happening to me. Do you see? I really believe wonderful things are happening to me. And I think this is where people stop believing in themselves. They stop believing that wonderful things. So they get clingy. I want this to happen. You see, that's clingy. And Gurudev used to tell us, if you chase after something, it will run away from you. But when you walk away, it will chase after you. And when you want something, just know that the actual fact that you have that desire, the thought put in your brain in the first place, in your mindset, means it's meant to be fulfilled. Patience. And trust. No time limit. No when, if, why, maybe this. And don't grasp for anything that's just there. Wait. Whatever you need will be given to you. When you have that faith, it is. But you have to go through some learning, some suffering. Don't know why. I always think, and I have seen, if you can really see the light when you're suffering, good things come very quickly your way. You shorten your time. You shorten your time. So watch your mind. Watch what thoughts are coming up. And if you're confused, like I said, just go blessing everybody else. It's quite a nice, easy way to get out of it. Because when you're confused, you can't really think much. Another method we use, obviously, is the mantra. Mantra is really powerful. Om Namah Shivaya, or whatever mantra you want, this too shall pass, this too shall pass, this too shall pass. You know, just keep repeating the one you want. And in my early days when I was very fearful, because I was a very fearful person, up to the point that I started yoga, you know, I could never be alone. Never. I was petrified of being alone. So you think, look how the shift happens. By itself, don't rush it. Don't rush anything. In the right time, anything that you need is given to you, but you just gotta sit with it. You just not gotta fall apart. You just gotta trust. You gotta trust that the God is within you. And when you connect with it, that's the help you're gonna get. But if you say blame or you don't trust it, that is what you will receive. As you think, so it will become. So when you see you're suffering, okay, I'm going through a bad time, don't allow myself to go further down this road, because I'm just going to blacken my own life. Look for light, look for light, look for light. Got it? Is it clear? Mm-hmm. And if you can't do it, call a good friend. Will make you laugh. And not allow you to dwell too much in your sorrow, because a good friend will try to lift you and not say, oh, this is really bad, blah, blah, blah. How can this happen to you, blah, blah, blah. Yes, they'll have compassion, I'm really sorry. But a good friend will want you to come out quick, you know. And sometimes it may seem harsh to you, oh, I want to be in my sorrow. But really, that person is loving you so much to want you to be happy again. But if you need to have time to cry, tell them so. Be honest and say, look, I need some quiet time. And they will accept. They love you, they will accept.